Stephen earns six figures per year publishing ebooks as a side hustle. It's something he's doing part-time. So in this interview, Stephen's going to share with us his secrets to success. My guest today is a 31-year-old man from Winnipeg named Stephen, and he has been self-publishing romance ebooks for a couple of years now. A couple of years ago, he was really hungry, looking for a way to create more freedom in his life, and so he started to investigate ways to do that, and he came across Kindle publishing. He took a couple of intro programs, starting to get his feet wet with it, and then he got connected with me, started working with me in my program, and since then has built a six-figure per year ebook publishing business. So welcome, Stephen.
Thank you. Good to be here.
How are you doing today?
Not too bad. It's a snowy Saturday in Winnipeg. But
all right. Yeah, Winnipeg in January, it's pretty typical.
Yeah, exactly right. But
yeah, great. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm really looking forward to talking to you about this. We've been, connecting for the past couple of years. So I've kept updated on your progress, and I'm super proud of you. You've done so awesome. But let's right now go back a couple of years. Let's talk about where you were at before you embarked on this journey. Why you got into Kindle publishing? What was your motivator? And just what did your life look like back then?
Sure. So years ago, I was in University of Manitoba. I studied business, and I worked a part-time job while in school, and of course, it was a struggle. Paying your bills at the same time, studying hard, and trying to get good grades. So I've always been fascinated about online marketing, and this was maybe 4 years ago. I was looking at e-commerce, and me and my dad started an e-commerce store, and kind of like with the Kindle publishing process, it's a process. You take a course, you get coaching, you do the same kind of thing, and it did pretty good. Like, we were making some good money, and I thought, okay, like, this online marketing thing is what I want to do. It gives you the lifestyle you want to live. You can go wherever you want in the world, kind of thing. And we started to do well. And then, of course, Google, the whole business relied on Google. Google made a change, and it kind of put our business from first page ranking for all the keywords we wanted to number one spot to off the map. And it kind of threw the business out the door. But then I was focusing on my degree, and I kind of forgot about it. But I always knew, like, when I graduated, I wanted to be an entrepreneur in some sort of way. I just stopped focusing on the online part. And then, so I graduated university, and at that point I was living with my parents. I just broke up out of a relationship before that. So they kind of helped me out and let me finish my degree, kind of thing. And at that point I was in major student debt. And then I moved out. So I was lucky enough to get the job that I went to school for, and it was a good salary, and I did what I was supposed to do. But even with a good salary and doing what I was supposed to do, it wasn't fulfilling me at all. And with that student debt, paying, like, I was 20 grand in student debt, paying that off, living on my own. I was living paycheck to paycheck, and I hated that. I told myself, I don't want to do this.
Mm-hmm.
This is not my life. I don't want to be living like this for the next 20 years and then retire and die.
Mm-hmm.
So I was at that point, I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew I had to get a second stream of income, kind of thing. And I was just randomly one day scrolling Facebook, and one of my buddies was just popped up on my news feed, and he was making six figures from a publishing business, and I had no idea what this was. So he was on a podcast, so I kind of tuned into what it was all about, and I kind of briefly heard who he learned from. And so I kind of wrote the name down and looked into that, and it was more of an intro to Kindle in general course,
Mm-hmm.
very basic, step-by-step, just the basic steps on how to publish an ebook, not necessarily build a six-figure business, right? So I took that course, and, I was making a couple $100 a month in nonfiction. And then I thought, there has to be a better way. And I need more. I need to learn from somebody that's done it already, more hands-on, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I was connected with you. I saw you on an interview on YouTube somewhere, and you were just crushing it back then. And so we connected, and I went through your program, and went from there. It just exploded, and now I'm where I am. So
That's awesome. A great story. And your experience with the e-commerce store and the changes that happened with Google, I've heard that time and time again that, people had these amazing businesses and all of a sudden one day everything shifted and changed. And that's one thing about online business. Things change so quickly and you need to be adaptable, right? And even, we've been in publishing now for a few years. We've seen some changes with Amazon, right? And so, yeah, how do you think your ability to be flexible has contributed to your success?
well, see, the thing is, back then I was relying on Google, kind of how we used to do it back in the day, and rely on Amazon with no marketing,
Right.
just kind of
Rely on the algorithm.
exactly right. So
Mm-hmm.
using these little loopholes and tricks and stuff like that. And of course, there's a lot of people making tons of money, millions of dollars. And same thing with Amazon, public just throwing a book out there, pumping out random books, tons of books, and you're just making tons of cash. And
Mm-hmm.
it was easy back then. It was,
Right.
and so what I realized is when I started doing Kindle, it was the same thing. I was just pumping random books out there, and I think I got up to like 10 grand a month. This was maybe a year and a half ago. And of course, I wasn't branding or anything. I wasn't doing anything what we do now.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, pretty much the whole industry was doing the same thing. And I kind of got a slap on my wrist and had gone into account trouble. And
Mm.
I learned my lesson, and it went from 10 grand back to one.
Ooh, yeah.
And then I said, listen, there's people doing this, bestsellers on there, crushing it. There has to be a better way.
Yes.
And I basically got back up to my 2 feet and went through that whole struggle again.
Yes. Of relearning and doing things the right way. Building a brand, building an audience.
Yes. And that's
Yes.
key in anything in online marketing, I think. Like,
Totally.
build a brand, engage with your audience, and
Mm-hmm.
and really that's sustainable, right?
Right. Go for the long-term
Exactly.
game here rather than anything that's gonna be quick. And on that note, success doesn't happen overnight. We've seen that as well. You need to build things up. Um, so what did your process look like from when you first started? Let's say like when you first started ebook publishing in general. What did your process look like from like going from the beginning to having your 5-figure per month income, as far as like your income you have now, where it's like, it's sustainable. It's something that is, like you said, there for the long term. It's consistent. It's not going to disappear tomorrow. You don't have to go into like specific details of everything you do, but just like, what did that look like? What kind of challenges did you encounter along the way?
Well, I remember when I first started. So I moved out. So now I'm on my own. And that was scary, right? And I'm in 20 grand in debt, but I knew this worked. I knew it. I've seen other people doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen like 6-figure plus earners. Like I've 100% believed in it. So what I did is I basically took a loan, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going all in. I don't care. This is either I succeed or I fail. And if I fail, I'm going to fail hard. And if I succeed, I'm going to succeed good. So I kind of felt like, it was kind of like an analogy. Like I had a gun to my head. I took a 5 grand loan out, and I'm like, I'm putting it all in. I'm going to do this. And it was scary. It was really scary, but I believed in it. And I took the course very seriously. I like your program. I implemented every step to a T. I asked a lot of questions. I engaged a lot of people. And at first I wasn't thinking, like I knew my overall goal. Like I wanted to make a 6-figure income and plus and quit my job and have the freedom and all that. But I knew not like, don't let that discourage me right now. Like, don't let that, like, look at these people doing that and look where I am. How am I going to get there? I just took one module at a time, one step at a time.
Mm-hmm.
It just made sure I did everything right and implement everything that I learned, not just watch the videos, but actually implement what I learned. So I'm like, hey, you know what? I just got to get a book out. I got to learn the process, get a book out. Once I know the process, then you can streamline it into a business, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I did, and of course, it was making some money. I think I made $200-300 from it, my first fiction book,
Awesome.
and I did the same thing, and then I kept doing it, and then at that point, I was making a couple grand a month, and I thought, okay, maybe I should get some more, and that's where you and me kind of connected more of on a one-on-one level because I already went through your course, so I knew what kind of questions to ask you to
Mm-hmm.
turn it not just putting some books out, but turn it into an actual business, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would say it's learning. You got to learn. You got to take what you learn. You got to implement, and you got to believe. You got to just. You can't let the barriers get in the way because it's going to happen. Writers will quit on you. Um, Problems can happen with Amazon. There's a million things.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, there's a solution, and you got to just stick to that. So.
Yeah, I think what you said there is really key, being solution focused and not problem focused, because there are always going to be obstacles no matter what. And as soon as an obstacle comes up, it doesn't mean that it's like, oh, I'm on the wrong path or something like that. Because a lot of people think that, oh, if something all of a sudden it seems a little bit challenging, that, oh, maybe I'm not supposed to be doing this.
Yeah.
But in the truth, if you're really drawn to what the ultimate result can be from what's in front of you, then powering through those challenges and being solution focused is number one. So that's awesome, because I mean, I've seen you and a lot of other publishers, actually probably every publisher that I know that's successful, we've been through like a lot of challenges. There's been a lot of ups and downs. And the thing is, the more challenges you get, it's like the more resilient you become. And you get a little bit toughened that you're able to take on those challenges. And also you're able to take more risks when it comes to investing in yourself and investing in your business.
Like you get confident. The way I see it is, there's always going to be a market there.
Mm-hmm.
When things change, you just got to figure out how to get to them. The markets.
Yes. The readers don't go away.
Exactly, right? So
yes.
There's people taking in that pie. You just got to, when things change, you got to adapt to get yourself in front of them. And it's going to change.
Yes.
Now it's changed before and it's going to keep changing.
Right.
It's a matter of being confident and being strategic and adapting. You got to adapt, right?
100%. And I think that now that you're saying that, it's making me think too, that I think like the best days for this kind of business are even ahead as technology increases and we're able to get visible more easily in front of readers.
Absolutely.
And we can be more connected,
This is just the start, in my opinion.
Just the start. I agree. That's awesome. I love it. So let's talk about now. So now you're earning 6 figures per year with your business, with your e-publishing business. I know we've talked recently and you still have a full-time job.
I do. So,
which is amazing because you're able to have your full-time job and have essentially a 6-figure side hustle. So that's awesome.
It's I've been saying, I'm going to make this leap for a long time, and I haven't. Mainly because of my own self. Like a lot of people would have made that leap already. I kind of want to grow it a little more. Mm-hmm. And, it's tough too when you work so hard to get it. Like you get a good job, a good high-paying job, and
mm-hmm.
It took a lot of effort to get it, to land it, and thrive in it.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that's another challenge for me is, getting up in the morning, going to the gym, doing my day grind, coming home at night, grinding, and rinse, repeat. And that's what it takes. Like you got to be consistent and do that every day. If you have a side job, then you got to be consistent for sure.
Right. Aside from that, I mean, you explained what your day is like, and that's a full day. But it's 100% worth it in the end to have that income from the ebook publishing. But how does your life look now? Like as far as what you're able to experience, things you're able to do now because of the ebook publishing. Like how has that shifted and changed your reality?
Sure. So again, like I'm not a debt now. Like I paid
awesome.
The whole thing off, right? I upgraded. Like now I'm in a really nice place. I love it. I'm comfortable. I can travel wherever I want, whenever I want, mm-hmm. aside from getting the time off from my job.
Mm-hmm.
So like money isn't really, I mean, there's always, no matter how much money you make, it'll always be an issue but not an issue. But like you're always going to you're going to upgrade your life, and when you upgrade your life, then your standard of living increases. And
That's true.
I've
Yeah,
been able
that's
to
true.
do that for myself, and going to the grocery store, not worrying about how much the brand name. Like I just buy what I want. Like at the
Yes.
grocery store, I don't really. I obviously I'm conscious, but like I'm not concerned. I'm not cringing at the price tags and stuff like that. And like I'm
Yeah.
able to travel. I'm able to um, just do things more. And a lot of the Kindle, like I want to kind of expand into other areas too online, like more streams of income. So the Kindle money, like the Kindle for me is like I want to grow it. I want to double what I'm doing now, and then I kind of want to automate it. And I also want to use that money. And once you have money, you can use it to do other things and get other streams of income and just kind of grow an empire, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, like I'm more relaxed now. I'm just my next step is freedom, I guess, but I'm almost there. So,
Yeah, I think freedom oftentimes is it's like a feeling, right? And even like hearing you talk about like being at the grocery store and not worrying about buying like a brand name, or not even thinking twice about being able to travel when you want. That's really freeing. That feeling of that, and not having that anxiety lingering. And I know that was huge for me. Like when I transitioned to a place where I didn't have to be worried about taking my son out for lunch, like spending money on something like that.
yeah.
That's to me, like that feels like freedom.
Yeah, if I go out with some friends or
Yeah.
whatever, and some money, and it's not an issue. It's not like
Mm-hmm.
I see the bill, but I don't like cringe. I don't,
Yeah.
very comfortable.
That's awesome. Another thing that you mentioned about like upgrading your lifestyle, and then your the money that you need to sustain that lifestyle increases too. I think in my experience and the experience of people around me, once you start making more money and you start having things in your life that are representative of that, it's almost it triggers you to attract more or something. Like it's like my mentor calls it a wealth trigger. So when you have things around you that make you feel abundant,
Yeah,
it's like you're going to start taking action on things that are going to help you continue that abundance.
for sure. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Um, okay, so yeah, we talked about what your day looks like right now, and you're grinding right now, which is great. I mean, does it feel? How do you feel most of the time as you're taking action in your business? Are you feeling inspired, or is it? I mean, do you have days where you're like, oh, this is really tiring? What does that feel like?
Very inspired because I have a vision. Like I know where I want
Yes.
to go. I have a direction. I know I have an overall goal and like a plan. So
Hmm.
it's everything I do is worth it. Like I'm gonna get. I've done it from the start where it's like when I make a goal, I achieve it, and like I'm gonna keep doing that. And
Right.
so it's tough, like when you're tired and stuff, but
Hmm.
you just got to do it. You got to not care what you feel like. You do what you know you have to do to get what you.
Hmm.
Right? So
Hmm.
yeah, like it's just when I do it, I think about my vision. Like,
Awesome. So thinking about your why, like coming back to that deep why of what's
so
what's driving you.
exactly. Yeah.
And you don't have a VA, do you? You're doing everything on your own.
I have like some helpers, but I don't have a VA. I don't have a project manager that
Okay.
does everything. And that's my next step too, is to get
Right.
out of the way. I think I have a control problem. I like to be in control of things, and it's tough,
Yes.
you know?
Right, right. Yes, I think we talked about this recently too, how you're like, oh, I don't, it's going to be a lot of time I need to spend to train a VA. And I totally get that. I've been at that. I just went through a bunch of training with one of my VAs, and I went through that too, where it's like, oh my gosh, I'm spending so much time creating videos and, helping her learn these processes and everything. But it's so worth it in the end when you can step back and your business keeps going without you being in it all the time. So yeah, it's pretty amazing. But congrats on, you've built what you have as a one-man show, essentially, right?
Much, yeah. Like I've had
Yes.
VAs before, but they
Mm-hmm.
just where it's maybe I didn't put enough time in training them or whatever. But they weren't cutting it, so I had to
Mm.
kind of let a few of them go. But
Yes.
it's probably partly my fault too. So you know,
Right. Okay, so now, what would you say are the top 3 things you think that have contributed to your success?
Okay, I have 4 things.
Perfect.
The first one would be my morning routine and physical fitness. It's absolutely, to me, in my opinion, everybody's different, but in my opinion, absolutely essential. You need that 100%. Morning routine, I do a whole bunch. I meditate. I have a daily journal. I have something called a definite chief aim. So like I have my 3-month goal of income, like what I want to hit. I kind of write down what went well yesterday, what I'm excited about today. So you start the day off proactively, and like you're not stressed out. You're ahead of the game. You're in control of like what your day is going to look like, right? And then I'll listen to like some sort of educational video or like something like that's contributing to my overall vision,
Mm-hmm.
And I do a little bit of rebounding and like all that kind of stuff. And it just clears your mind. You feel so much better. And then I go to the gym. So I get up at like 5 a.m. and do all that.
Awesome.
And I go to the gym, and then I feel like the fitness part, like it clears your mind. It's like a mental thing too, I think. Like I feel great, like physically, but mentally it's like so important. And like I've noticed, like when I stop doing this, my brain goes foggy, and I don't see that, like, yeah, like it's foggy and not see the end, right?
Mm-hmm.
And both morning routine and physical fitness. But and my business suffered from it. Like it went down in income, and I felt crappy. I felt like it just downward spiral, right? So that to me is the number one most important thing in belief. You got to believe 100%. If you don't believe, you're not going to do the actions to get the results. So like if you're getting into this, you got to go all in. You got to see we're all successful. There's a lot of successful people. You got to believe it. It's not a scam. This is a real business. It's 100% attainable for anybody that has a drive and determination to do it. So I think, yeah, morning routine, belief, physical fitness, and then I would say like building a process. So once you learn everything, you want to build a process. So you're doing the same thing every week to pump. Like now I could release a book with my eyes closed. Like
yes,
the process, and it's the same thing. It's just different books, different ideas, but it's the same process.
Mm-hmm.
Having that down is very important. And then I would say going through a course and getting coaching is mindset I've had since I started anything. Finding people that have done it and paying them what they need to be paid to help you get there.
Mm-hmm.
And a course is essential first. You want to go through the course to be intelligent enough and knowledgeable enough to even engage with a coach. But I think those 2 things are really important. And then networking, masterminding, to me, without that, I wouldn't be where I am. Like finding like-minded people that are doing the same success you are and meeting with them every week on Skype or every 2 weeks, every month, help each other grow. You're in it for each other, not for yourself, kind of thing. And that, you see somebody else succeed, you find out a little trick they did, so you kind of learn from it, and vice versa. And if you have a group of 6 to 8 people that are doing the same thing, you grow together, right? So
I agree 100%. All of those things have also contributed to my success too. Like word for word, I'm like, yes. And going back to your first point about your morning routine and fitness and self-care, that is my absolute priority now. Like I put my physical, mental, spiritual health my number one priority no matter what, because that is the foundation of me, and my business is me, right? And your business is you, and it's everything's an extension of you. So having that foundation of health is key.
And it's hard to understand that if you're not doing it and you're new to it your first time.
Yes.
Like, time you think, well, I want to work on my business instead, or I want an extra hour of sleep. But like once you start doing it, experience it changes.
Yes.
You got to experience it first. Right?
For sure. I hear you. And you got to experience it and have the great results, and then actually fall off the wagon. And like you said, when you don't do it, you feel terrible. Your business suffers. I think everyone needs to go through that too, of like falling off the wagon, not taking care of yourself, seeing how it affects your business, and then realizing, oh, okay, no, maybe I should taking care of myself. Get back into that and then see how your business improves because of it. It's just like that contrast is powerful. So this is kind of like what I've been thinking about a lot lately too, is if you're feeling something different than what you really want to be feeling, and it's like, oh, this isn't right. I'm not feeling the way I should be feeling, and I'm not doing this and this and this right, and all of that. It's like those contrasting feelings are really good because it's pointing you in the right direction, right? So it's just clarifying for you what your path needs to be. So yeah, that's awesome. All of those suggestions from you were spot on, and I couldn't agree more. And mentors are so important. I can't even speak enough about what my mentors have done for me. It's incredible.
For sure, yeah, it's one of the most important things too.
Yeah.
A lot of things are important.
Yes, for sure. Well, thank you so much, Stephen, for this conversation. Congrats on all your success, and you're just going to keep growing, and it's going to be awesome. I'm excited to see how things are going to go for you in the next year plus. So thank you. And I'll catch up with you in the group.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks for having me. And yeah.
Have a great day.
You too.
Okay, bye. If you found this interview helpful, like or comment below and share with anyone that you think may like it too. And if you want to see more videos or interviews like this, be sure to subscribe to my channel. See you in the next video.